What's up, Internet? Welcome to what was going to initially be a Japanese Saturn Fafathon, kind of in the same vein as my PSN Fafathon from about a year ago, I guess. I've been trying to do this since February, but it hasn't worked out for a couple reasons. Mainly because I don't have enough time, hence why it's September and I still haven't done it, and this still isn't going to be that. In fact, I might just scrap that idea altogether. But the idea was, one of the games that I'd picked up for my Saturn, a recent import that I got, was a collection of Gundam games in part of a Trilogy series. And I played through it recently, and I realized that each one of these games has about 5 missions. And of those 5 missions, each one's about 5 minutes long. So I figured, you know what, I can let's play this, so we're doing that now. So welcome to Gundam Side Story 1, The Blue Destiny. And we're gonna skip the rest of the story, because screw it. So we're gonna stage select, because it takes you to the same place, but I don't have to delete my data. This is a neat game, though. It's, kind of an arcadey mech warrior style Gundam game. We'll skip the briefing. But it's kind of a misnomer as well, because we don't actually get to pilot a Blue Destiny. Not until the second game. In this one, much like a morbidly obese man desperately trying to fix his life, we are stuck in a gym. And because of that, we kind of suck. And we're going to suck for a while. In fact, we're going to suck the entire game. But it's basically just strafing around shooting Zakus and stuff. Of the 3, this is definitely the weakest, I will say that much right now. Not just because you're stuck in a gym, that definitely doesn't hurt, but part of it is also simply the fact that it feels the laziest. And you'll see why later on. But as of now, we're just shooting Zakus. That's kind of the premise of most of the game, is you just destroy all the other mobile suits. That's definitely one reason this is so lazy, is because all the story bits come down to destroy the enemy mobile suits. Like, that's it. There's a little bit of different context for the last couple missions, but it's still just destroy the mobile suits and you'll win. And it's going to be like that pretty much until the 3rd game, which is kind of depressing. But it's pretty basic. I mean, you strafe left to right, you've got your main gun, you've got your machine guns, you can dash into people and use your beam saber, which does some pretty impressive damage, but you gotta hurt yourself. I've noticed this game has some pretty peculiar AI, though, and we'll see if I can trigger it right now. Doesn't want to go right now. For whatever weird reason, if you just stand back and use your Gatling guns, the enemy just tries to rush you usually. So you can just dash straight into them. And you can really abuse that if you really, really want to. Speaking of weird AI bits, the final boss of this series has some really bizarre AI I've found, at least on the hardest difficulty, because I went through and tried to get like A rank on all of them. And you have to play on hard to get higher ranks. I think I'm set to like normal this time. But they kind of expect that final boss fight to be like 2 crazy super new type guys going at it in like high-speed mech combat. And if you do that, chances are you're gonna die horrendously. But a weird little trick I've found is if you just sort of slowly circle strafe without boosting ever, the enemy doesn't know what to do. Like, it'll sit there and like boost around you at super crazy speeds, but it won't ever really succeed at doing anything. Like, it'll try and charge in for a melee attack, and then you can just shoot him in the face. And that's just weird. Now, this game is a trilogy. I think that's a bit generous. It feels more like someone took one decent-sized game and cut it into 3 parts, because all 3 are very short, and they all share pretty much all the same resources. Like, one thing I like to do with my Saturn games is, like, when I get them, not only to test out the disc, but also because It's a neat thing you can do with Saturn games is you can like throw them in your iTunes and get the free soundtrack, because that was one bonus thing they did with Saturn games is you could throw them in like your boombox or whatever and listen to the soundtrack to your favorite Saturn games. I did that with all 3 discs, and they have the exact same soundtrack. I've played all 3. They have the exact same assets. I think they add like 2 or 3 more mobile suits in like the last one, but that's about it. I really don't want to cross this line because somewhere there's like a mission boundary, and if you cross it, you instantly lose the mission. But I have no idea where it is. Like that's definitely one innovation they did with the later games. They added a map. We're gonna leave this guy alone, and hopefully he'll come back later. Now we're getting shot. Eat a hand grenade. Eat a hand grenade. Eat a hand grenade. Oh, come on. Stupid hand grenades. Yay, Zaku's. But you'll be happy to know you don't just shoot Zaku's in this game. There's a whole, like, 4 different types of mobile suits you get to shoot at. Although one of them, I don't even know if you can technically beat it or if, like, you're expected to lose or something. I don't know. The second mission in this game is a bit weird. But we'll get there in a sec. So I think this is the last Zaku. Slash. And you're dead. Oh, there's another one. And you can manually aim in this game. I have no idea why you would ever want to. Like, manual aiming in this game just sucks so much. Because it's just super slow. Like, let's take that off. That's manual aiming. Oh, and you can go low, high, and medium. Or you could just auto-target and not be a complete and total twat. I have no idea why they added manual aiming if it's going to be so cumbersome. Like, it's just weird. And I know I'm being largely negative about this game. This game's actually pretty good in terms of gameplay. I mean, it's definitely one note, but it's fun and it does it well, I think. And it'll definitely give you a massive challenge, especially on the harder difficulties. But, still more. Maybe I'm on one of the harder difficulties. Maybe I don't think so, but there might be additional mobile suits on harder difficulties. I have no honest idea. But shooting more Zaku's in the back. Yeah! Fighting the honorable fight in a giant mech, shooting your opponent in the back. You know, that's one thing that doesn't make sense. It's just giant robots. Like in general. And there's a reason why they don't make sense. Like, the only types of medium I've ever seen giant robots make sense are Robotech and Evangelion. And it's for the same reason. It's because your opponent was like 50 feet tall, so you kind of had to even the playing field a little bit. But in most other things, it's like, we got tanks, now we're just going to add legs. Because that's not going to completely destroy the production cost of making a single one of them, and it's totally going to be worth it, except it's not. Also, even if you somehow manage to secure the funding to make a giant robot and mass produce them on whatever scale to help your war effort, swords, that seems just like a dumb idea to me. And I guess it didn't read that I have a save file here or something, because it'll actually register that I have a higher ranking than just a basic pilot. That's the neat thing. If you get A rank in all the missions, you get a higher rank in the overall military. That's the Blue Destiny, by the way. There's actually 3 of them, but that's the first one. And he's shooting our buddies, so we're gonna go fight him. I think this is a fight you kind of have to lose. I don't think it'll actually let you win. I'm not really sure, though. You know what? For science, I'm just going to sit here and let the Blue Destiny shoot me. See if this game has the balls to kill me. Because every time I've managed to beat this guy, it's so incredibly stupidly close that I'm pretty sure it's just giving me a win despite dying. I might be wrong about that, but I'd like to see it. Would you stop shooting my teammates? They'll die very easily. I want you to shoot me. I'm going to try and get in the way now. Come on. Shoot me. Come on. Now you're getting my incredibly sucky ass. There. Now keep shooting me. I'm not even gonna move. I'm just gonna sit here, fire these, which will do like 1 damage each. Like that's one thing. This game is really poor at indicating if you're actually doing anything to your opponents. And the only way I've noticed that you can actually do that is if like you go into the options menu and turn on an optional stat to show you your score. And that's how I kind of know health values and stuff in this game, is because I played like the last fight so many times. I just turned on the score just to see how much health the final boss had. And for those keeping score at home, that is 4,500 or 15 shots from a beam rifle, which you only get in the last level, and you wouldn't even realize it, which is a bit odd. Yep. Okay, that was me using my basic face guns that do 1 damage. I literally could not lose that fight. This game does not have the balls to kill me. That's mission 2. 3 more to go. This is probably the most interesting mission in the game, I think. And we're gonna skip all this. Skip how you're telling me I got like a D. Yeah, skip that. Now we're gonna go shoot up a Gallop and a bunch of other Zakus. Don't worry, we'll see another non-Zaku mobile suit at some point, but it's mostly Zakus. But these ones are brown, so we're making progress. I think over the course of the series, that's the main target, although you can skip it entirely if you just destroy all the mobile suits. Which is fine, there's not really any point to going after this unless you're going for points. I think this thing has like a different various destruction textures, because I've blown this thing up 3 or 4 times and I've always noticed that it looks slightly different every time I destroy it. Come on, blow up. Boom. I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's this or shoot Zaku's. I'm gonna have to go do that later anyway. But I think this one's definitely the weakest, and part of that's because of the last 2 levels, and you'll see that once I'm finished shooting Zaku's in this level. But the second one I think improves on it a little bit, and the third one, while I think it's a bit of a downgrade in some respects in terms of level design, it also has one of the coolest levels, I think. Despite it being like really uninteresting. But it's different from the rest of the game, so it's kind of better. Because really all the other levels are like these open world... Well, actually they're not open world, they're very, very confined arenas, but they look open enough. Whereas there's one level in like the last one which actually tries to completely ignore that. And I think it works to great effect because you're so used to fighting in an open world that by the end of it you're just completely confused by the idea of not being able to do that. I honestly didn't think I'd do another Gundam video so soon. Although I guess that one hasn't come out, and this will actually come out first. So, heads up, there's a Gundam video coming in about 2 months that I've already finished. So, go enjoy that. Better game than this, but this one was also a hell of a lot cheaper and came with 2 other Gundam games, so... Although it's the same game. Still, I gotta say, for cheap Saturn import, not bad. Not bad. And it wasn't until I actually got to buy it that I realized that there was actually like a second release of these. Like I've got the second release. The first release was like buying all 3 games independently. And then there was like a second release that was... excuse me. It was a box set that contained all 3 games, minus like the box art for each game. And yeah, it came in like a really crappy double-wide CD case, but it was just a generic clear case. But it also came with a 4th disc, which really just contained like a model viewer and sketches and stuff, which I guess is kind of neat, but it's not the most amazing compilation I've ever seen. Oh my god, I might actually lose. Just because I decided to do the actual objective of the mission. That's depressing. That's a good life lesson. Just ignore all the major objectives of life and you'll somehow succeed better. Thank you for teaching me that, Gundam. But yeah, Gundam on the Saturn. There's like 6 games. 2 of them are 2D platformers. One is a classic Gundam, one's Zeta. And then you've got this weird Gundam side story thing, which I kind of associate a little bit with Gundam the 8th MS team, which I just got into recently because I made a Gundam video and I was just, to compare voice actors, I was basically just watching the entire series for the game over again. And spot on. But after that I just decided I'm going to watch the entire Universal Century timeline. I'm up to Double Zeta and it is just hard for me to deal with because I don't mind anime that's subtitled. I prefer it in a language I understand just because I can kind of zone out and do something else. I don't have to like pay attention to subtitles to get the full plot of stuff. Also, the Double Zeta is ugly. I'm just going to say that. But the 8th MS team, I am surprised at how good that was. Because it wasn't about a bunch of kids getting like a superpowered mech. It was about a bunch of soldiers who were like already very jaded about the war and stuff, getting really low-tier production model mobile suits, and that's basically what this game is. You're a soldier who's stuck in a crappy gym. But you just kind of have to make do with it. And I might actually die here, which is depressingly sad. Maybe I do have it on hard, I don't know. But, 8th MS team, I do recommend that. I don't recommend Stardust Memory. I have no idea what was going on with that series. I sat there and watched it through. Not interesting. It was like a nonsensical plot, and the main character was just kind of whiny. I do recommend Gundam Wing. That one I recommend over all others, because that was like my favorite Gundam. Not just because it's the one that got me into Gundam either. It's like, I still think it's like the nicest one. Also, it had the Death Scythe. I'm obligated to like it. But man, North America really didn't get too many Gundam games, did we? I mean, we got a couple of fighting games on the PS1, I know that. And I know we got Journey to Jaburo, for better or worse. That's something we got. Please die. Yay! And then it'll blow up because we followed the extra objective. If you don't blow it up, it just is shown driving away. And I think it has a couple Zaku escorts. No big deal difference, but it shows your progress, I guess. What other Gundams would I recommend? Zeta. I'd recommend Zeta, absolutely. Fun fact, all the voice recording, for better or for worse, was done entirely in my hometown. And I mean that for worse bit, because honestly, with the exception of Quattro, there's really no character that was returning from classic Gundam. Those green things we have to protect, they're gas barrels. They blow up instantly, even if a Vulcan hits them. This is going to be fun. Also, it's one of the few levels where we don't just see Zaku's. We also get to see a Dom. Yeah, we're really doing well. We get to see something new. But Zeta Gundam, very good. Quattro was voiced excellently. I think I remember hearing that one of my college buddies actually did some like voice training under the guy who played Quattro, which that's pretty cool. Quattro was like one of the 2 best voice actors in or voiced characters in Zeta, along with Camille. I don't think Camille gets enough credit, both as a voiced character by someone in North America, but also as a good character. I always associate myself with Camille. And now we're going to look at the map, because I'm going to be doing that a lot in this mission, because there's going to be times where we're going to have to fight like 6 Zaku at once, and they're all just going to start heading for those things. And this is why I'm really hoping I'm not still on hard, because it'll end badly for us. The nice thing is when the Dom shows up with the 2 Zaku escorts he gets, the Dom just focuses completely on your character, so the gas cans are safe from the Dom. You just have to focus on the Zakus and hope you don't die, really. And I'm out of Vernier, so I can't go in. Please don't have another one. Oh, good, there's already 3 spawning. Crap. Yes, I think we are on hard. That's going to make things interesting. And this is why I'm going to start manually aiming at stuff and missing an awful lot. And this is about the point where if they throw one of those grenades, it's game over. Because those will take out a city block. Also, this level sucks on trying to get a good score, because unlike the others where you get scored bonus points for destruction, these are your bases, so destroying more stuff, bad. It's kind of a crazy concept. Oh, crap. Ugh. I'm really hoping you're digging this mission, because you're going to be seeing it again real soon. And that's assuming I win. And thus why we come to why I think this is one of the weakest games. They repeat a level. And we're probably not going to survive this. So I just spoiled it. Go me. I've also been getting into the Great Battle games, if you're familiar with those. And if you're not, they were kind of like a side story game to the Gundam side story Super Robot Wars games, except they involve like Ultraman and a couple other licensed characters. The neat thing about them is they are dirt cheap. There's like 20 of them, and with the exception of the 5th one, you can get them all for about $5. That is the Dom. Which means those other Zakus are, go away, go away, go away. I don't want to deal with that. Go away, Dom. No one likes you. Also, Black TriStar Dom. You'll be seeing a lot of those, because that's the only texture for the Doms that was put in this game. And I want to say the second game as well. I know the third game has green Doms. Yeah. Okay, where's the... I don't want to target the Dom, I want to target the Zaku. No. Yes, you I want to target, because you're going to go after the gas canister. If I can take the Zaku out without taking out the gas canister, there's like a 90% chance I can finish this mission. The biggest problem is, after that, assuming the Zaku doesn't shoot the gas canister, like the one gas canister we have left, is if I miss, like even with my Vulcans, that gas canister is going to die. And that would be bad. But since I don't have to worry about those gas canisters, now I just have to get this. Yeah, that looks like that's all of them. Okay, let's see if I can lure this guy away from them. That's another thing, like enemies that are programmed directly to pursue you, which are like all the high-speed enemies, they will basically just be lured out towards you. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what the situation is. So, you can definitely use that to your advantage and stuff like this. Grenade! Grenades are very useful. Also, despite the draw distance, your shots do go beyond the draw distance and will destroy those things. Also, that gym is potentially destroying this. And we won! Yay! Now, I hope you haven't gotten sick of this level. We're gonna see it right soon. But with this time, we get to fight 3 Doms. Yeah. Also, Zagox, I believe. The amphibious units, I always have trouble remembering what they are. But they look a bit odd in this game. And not just because they decide to have a really bizarre color scheme. But we get to fight these guys now. Yay! Also, we have to prevent those gas canisters from exploding, and that's the limit of the mission. So I can't go out there and actually shoot you. But the nice thing is, for the most part, these guys are coming after me, so I don't think I have to worry too much about them. This game did teach me one thing, though. Apparently the right shoulder button on my Saturn controller is dying, and that's not good. Especially if I do need to oddly manual turn. But, what was I talking about? Great Battle. I was getting into that series. It started by me getting like the 4th game for free in like an auction. I just had it thrown in, and I liked it. It was kind of like Mega Man X a little bit. And then I looked at the rest. They were all super cool. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get into this series. And the same has happened with another game I reviewed that the review isn't out yet for, but Choro Q, which I also got a game when I bought this. I got the Saturn Choro Q, which very different. Not necessarily bad, but it's definitely odd. I managed to get the 5th one in the Great Battle series. And the thing about the Great Battle series is, of course, as I said, they're all very cheap and they're all very easy to find, except the 5th game. Like, the 5th game typically, that's like $150. I managed to get it at an auction no one was bidding at, so I got it for a very minimal amount of money. Overall, like, I had it thrown into a bunch of other things I wanted to buy, which included this Blue Destiny box set thing. But well, I ended up spending a lot more than I wanted to. The way I see it, I bought the Great Battle 5 at a decent price, and I got a bunch of other games for free, so... But I got this neat first-person dungeon-crawling RPG, which, if it weren't time restrictions that kept me from doing a Saturn Fafathon, it would be that, because I don't think that'd be interesting to watch. I also got a Sega Saturn compilation disc that I didn't know existed until I was looking up Saturn import videos on YouTube, and I don't want to misappropriate it, but I think it was Pete Dorr who mentioned it. Clockwork Knight, a series of 2 platformers I played a lot when I was a kid, or I played the demo to the second one on a Saturn sampler disc I have. In fact, I still have that. Maybe I'll make a Fafathon about that or something. But I played a mission and a half of that demo, and you could get that done about maybe 2 minutes. I played hours of that, so I finally decided, you know what, I want Clockwork Knight. And it's, of course, in English, it's kind of expensive, so I figured I'd get the Japanese version. Well, I was looking up the Saturn import stuff, and apparently there was a Clockwork Knight compilation. And then I immediately ran to YouTube and bought it. Or YouTube, eBay. Ran to YouTube to learn about it. But the weird thing about it was, it's not labeled anything. Like, it's literally just labeled the same as the first game. So the only way to tell the difference is the box art. And I played that, and I've since played through the first of the 2 games. Surprisingly, a lot shorter than I remember it being. I remember renting it one time, and I thought it was a lot longer. But I also remember being stuck on the second boss in that game, which I managed to beat, although he is kind of tough. In fact, when I first saw him, I got a little bit PTSD about it. But giant robots versus a tiny little tin toy soldier guy. It's a little bit grim. Okay, now we get to fight the Black Tri-Stars. All 3 of them. Oh, and that's our buddy, and we can't skip this. Boom, you're dead. Point blank. Now we get to go fight these 3 Doms, which... Again, because they're pursuing us, our gas tanks are perfectly fine. And these guys just pop in for no reason. The sad thing is, this game kind of a little bit reminds me of Robotica, that horrible piece of Saturn trash that I reviewed so long ago and tried to make a Let's Play of, but YouTube didn't like it because it was too long. Oh god, that was a really awful video in general anyway, so I'm glad it's not up, but... this kind of reminds me of Robotica, if Robotica was good and had the Gundam license. But... There are 3 other Gundam games on the Saturn. There was a weird kind of Gundam Nobunaga's Ambition type game, as I think it is, or was, from the title. It was called Girahen's Greed. Girahen, of course, being kind of the guy who usurped the leader of the Zeons, sorta. And then, of course, there was the 2 platformers I've already talked about. And then there was this, which apparently can actually go for quite a lot. As I understand, the first game's the cheapest, and the second game is apparently the rare one of them, but I found them all online, like, independently of each other for, like, 20 bucks each. I would say if you can only get one and you don't care about the story, get the 3rd one, because that one at least varies things up a bit more. Although this is the only one that, repeats levels, which is nice. And the second one doesn't have any defense missions. At least I don't think there are. The first one kind of had a friendly object of defense on the map, but I don't think I was ever required to defend it because nothing was going after it. So I don't think there was any defense missions in the first game. We're just going to strafe and start chucking grenades and hopefully splash damage. Yay, got him. And I'm hoping that managed to do some decent damage to the others, because I'm not doing well. Yay, one down. Now, as I mentioned, doing well raises your rank in this game, and of course, the second and third ones will as well, and your save data will carry between them. If you actually manage to get like A rank in the highest military rank between the 3 games, you unlock a secret bonus mission in the last one, and I've played it. I got stomped. I still haven't beaten it. It's a stupidly hard mission, but I gotta admit that's a really cool bonus feature, and I like it a lot. I just wish these 3 games were kind of combined into one. I mean, yeah, I got a box set that contains all 3, but I kind of wish they were just one game. Because I bet they probably could have fit all 3 onto one Saturn disc. Because there were some pretty massive Saturn games. I mean, Panzer Dragoon Saga was pretty sizable. I rented it once and I had to put a massive deposit down. And when you're a kid, that says a lot, but I remember playing it once and just loving the hell out of it, but it's been a long time, and I don't see myself playing it anytime soon. In fact, it'll be like the last Panzer Dragoon I'll ever get, and probably will never get, because it tends to go for about $400. I could buy a Neo Geo MVS for that, and indeed am trying to. Damn it, I want a Neo Geo MVS. It's like something I desperately have always wanted. Because not only is having an MVS sort of like one of those things I've always wanted to do, but part of my life goals is like I feel like I need to have like one really fun goal, just so I don't get too jaded with pushing myself to always succeed and stuff. So one of my fun goals is I want to have my own personal arcade, and I think the first step to getting my own personal arcade is getting a Neo Geo, because that would be kind of like the crown jewel. I'd also like to get like the sit-down arcade Yu Suzuki games, because those were my childhood. Having played so much Outrun on my SMS back in the day. And that was the final level of Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story Blue Waffle Episode 1. I guess since I've got all the footage, maybe I'll review it? Like, I guess? It won't be this week. This week I've got my game planned for review, but maybe I'll review it. Of course, that review won't come out for another, like, 2.5 months if I go through with it. You know what? I had fun with this. I think maybe if I can find the time in a couple weeks or something, maybe I'll tackle Chapter 2. B rank, which is about as high as you can get on normal, I think. And here it'll turn into higher rank, and sometimes your job will go from Mobile Suit Pilot to Ace Pilot. Fun fact. And that was Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story. Here's the ending. I'll leave it to you. Peace out.
墜落したミデアの回収に駆り出されたユウ。彼がその墜落現場で見たものはあの青いモビルスーツだった。やがて現れるジオン軍のモビルスーツイフリート。奴は執拗に青いモビルスーツを付け狙う。敵との戦いの中でユウは逃れられぬ青き運命に取り込まれてしまう。次回「機動戦士ガンダム外伝2青を受け継ぐ者」。君は青き死神と戦場をかける。